Hi everyone. A few days ago I came across an article in the local business journal that highlighted efforts by the Microsoft Corporation to identify opportunities to create a diverse workforce from within. The article recounts the ways that the tech industry has come under scrutiny for not promoting a diverse workforce. So in the conversation with CEO Steve Ballmer, he was quick to point out that diverse talent is good for business, and that talent does not know cultural differences. Another idea that came through in that article was this idea of sponsorship as distinct from mentorship as a way to help build that diverse workforce. I encourage you to take a look, and I'll put the link to a short video excerpt in this announcement. Now, I could not help but be reminded of the diversity scorecard, which submits to this very premise that a diverse workforce has a multitude of benefits, and in this case, financial benefits. So as we are recapping Module 6, let's take a look at this whole idea of a diversity scorecard and what you can do to apply this in your own contexts. Evaluating the strength of an organization is nothing new. And the idea of a balanced scorecard in an organization is a way to track organizational performance. Taking that one step further, the diversity scorecard, which you were introduced to a couple of weeks ago, takes this idea and applies it through a diversity lens. Diversity, of course, comes in many forms, and when we talk about that, remember this is diversity in all forms. Our text outlines 4 distinct aspects. Workforce diversity, which is about situational identities such as gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, ability, and others. Behavioral diversity, which is about work styles, beliefs, values, and attitudes. Structural diversity, which encompasses the organization itself and its ability to work cross-functionally in teams from different areas. And finally, business and global diversity, which is the environments in which the organization operates and the different markets it serves. Now, let me make a quick note about diversity and our text. While this is written from a business-leaning perspective, with the tone and language, if you will, inclusive of such words such as efficiency, profitability, sustainability, and the like, many who are not directly involved in the business sector may not find it relatable. I am glad to see, however, that throughout our discussions, diversity in the educational and other spheres are acknowledged, and those that are in non-business contexts found value in the principles behind these ideas. In fact, the diversity scorecard, which I will talk about next, is built upon the foundation of the organization's overall vision and strategy. So in a school setting, the logical questions involve things like, what is the vision for education for students? Or, what is the commitment by educational leaders to ensure that leaders, teachers, reflect the communities, students, and families they serve? Remember that the idea behind the diversity scorecard stems from the mission and strategy for the organization. The scorecard itself is a tool that addresses the overall diversity strategy along 6 dimensions or perspectives. As we discussed 2 perspectives in your organizations, I was struck by the detailed level of analysis that each of you presented and the examples you gave. I also liked how you embedded the discussion with select leadership theories from Nordhaus. Keep this up. One important thing that I do want to make mention of is your willingness to share about your own organizations and the level of analysis and evaluation that followed. Thank you. The level of immediate application is apparent. At the same time, if you choose not to use your organization as the subject for the evaluation or as the exemplar of your points, feel free to use another organization that you might be familiar with. The goal, of course, is developing the skills to apply this to whatever context you find yourself in. Next week, you'll have a chance to use all these models and theories we've covered so far and apply them to a case study. You'll continue to have the opportunity to do synthesis and evaluation in writing. Remember that part of evaluation involves the idea of making conclusions or statements about something, and most importantly, giving rationale to why the conclusions were what they were, all according to the research. To put it simply, evaluation is always based on what criteria? Now, in a few weeks, you'll be submitting your third paper in which you will do an evaluation of an organization. Take note of what we are doing this week and the weeks leading up to this point, as all the assignments have been building towards this final paper. I'll have more on this later, but for now, enjoy the weekend, continue to post and respond, and as always, see you online.